Hello, everyone, and welcome back to an Unreadable update. I believe this is number
Three.
three.
It's three.
This is number three. We were going to do these once a week. We're a little bit off. Obviously, understandable. We've had a little bit of a shift, a little bit of pivot in our personal lives. And CJ right now is on drugs because she has COVID, so she's high. So
I
maybe
have
the
a
last little bit of
migraine.
what we wrote,
I'm
it's not
heavily medicated. It's fine.
better living through chemistry. It's all good. But anyway, but we do want to update you because the book is going what I think is exceptionally well. We are 10 chapters in, 22,000 words in a matter of, what is that, a month?
Yes, like 4
Something like
weeks.
that?
Yeah, 3, 4 weeks.
A month, like 4 weeks. And we've had some major shakeups in those 4 weeks. Also, for those of you who used to seeing me with glasses, I have new contacts that are multifocal contacts, so I'm seeing about four of all of you, and there's only two. So I'm getting used to them.
Awesome.
It's actually pretty great. So CJ's high. I have new contacts, and I don't know what's happening. So it's a good day in the neighborhood. So anyway, so
These are your hosts for the evening.
these are your hosts for the evening. Fantastic. But anyway, all right. So welcome everybody. So we're going to talk about. So where we ended off was chapter 7, and we've made some changes. We introduced this character named Mikey, who it turns out really like Mikey, and apparently so does CJ. So CJ, tell us about some of some of the stuff that's happened in the last few chapters with our good friend Mikey.
So Mikey has pretty much put himself in there and is very protective of. Well, he likes Westbrook. He's a fan of Westbrook already, even though he knows that Westbrook comes from a crime family. You don't live on the streets the way that Mikey does, or be street smart the way that Mikey is, and not know who the Westbrooks are in that area. But he's also very protective of Harper. And so he now is ready to do the driving and be the chauffeur, even though, let's be honest, this kid is not even 18 yet at all. So he is pretty much plucky comic relief.
Over 18, he's driving for Uber.
Oh no. And we've put little stuff in there where it's clear that he is not street legal. And that's actually something I was going to talk to you about, Troy, where I wanted to sprinkle a little bit in there where the way in which he managed that was totally illegal. It's not even his car, and it's not even his Uber, which I think is especially so. Yeah.
Maybe it belongs to his auntie who we just introduced.
Could be.
Oh my goodness.
You think so?
And that's why he didn't want to go there.
Yeah.
He didn't want to go there because he doesn't want his auntie to know what he's doing. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. It's epic, which is the whole reason why the beginning and the intro of him, the descriptions of him, originally you question it because what you think as an Uber driver should be 18 or older. And so you're looking at someone who there's just no way. And yet you go with it. And that's kind of where we're at with Mikey. You look at him and you will the entire book and go, I don't think, but you just go with it. So that's where we're at with Mikey.
Yeah.
But he is the peanut gallery. He is the plucky comic relief. He is very protective of this new family that he has found in Westbrook and Harper. And so he will be the sidekick in this adventure and is in a lot of ways. And what Harper is finding as they are, sitting in the restaurant discussing things, and we move to chapter 8 and chapter 9, and the way in which that plays out, where they actually start to look into clues. It's for Harper, she's all about the story, but she's also got this backstory that involves Nora, her informant, dying. This is guilt that eats at her, and she's in danger of repeating past mistakes by being so focused on the story and by being so focused on what she wants to solve and getting revenge on the Westbrooks that, how far is she willing to go when it comes to Mikey and allowing him to be around her. So that's something that we explore a little bit in that scene where we actually figure out who the tattoo artist is, find where that tattoo artist lives, and move forward and start looking at that to layer these clues in. These situations are dangerous, and she's recognizing that even though he says he's 18, he's probably not. And she's got a minor with him. And is she going to repeat history and lose him like Nora, And so that's kind of what we're exploring here with that. So.
Oh, and I actually love this, the way that we played that then in chapter 10 of
Uh-huh.
Harper actually getting quiet for a few minutes.
Yeah,
Like
shocking.
she's letting Westbrook and him discuss things, and they're like, wait, where is the interjection?
Uh-huh.
Where did Harper go? And Harper is quiet because she's gone from scared to terrified, and not terrified for herself, but terrified for those around her.
Yeah.
And she's wondering, what in the world am I going to do next? Like, how is this at all going to work out? And they're going to hide out, but obviously Westbrook can't go hide out forever. He's going to have to leave them alone because he has to make an appearance. His sister's looking at him, everybody's looking at him. So he's got to go make appearances back at his regular business. So that's going to provide some cool conflict and stuff too. So I love the way that these three chapters have kind of changed only slightly the trajectory of the book, but just slightly enough that we're still going to end up in the same neighborhood with the ending and with the same type of crimes, all that kind of stuff. But our characters have basically told us, hey, we're going to go over this way a little bit. And I love the way we brought in the fact that Frankie, the tattoo artist, is involved somehow. And we don't know how, but then it makes a lot more sense for Westbrook's contact to have been living upstairs, because then she gave him a place to. It just makes a lot more sense with everything that we have in the story. So really excited about the way this is going. And guys, the writing is has been very fast. Like I've been working on another project at the same time, but like when CJ tells me she's done with a chapter, like I go in there and I'm using this writing tracker thing that we'll share with you guys eventually on our new website and our new thing, and I'll just share it with you, and I'll do a walkthrough with it and show you how it works. It's just cool, super cool.
Me
Anyway,
too.
I'm
Yes.
using it, and I'm averaging, when I'm writing on the story, I'm averaging like 1,900 words an hour, almost 2,000 words an hour. Typing, by the way, not dictation or any of those things, even though I love dictation, the idea of dictation, I don't know how to do it yet.
Yeah, I stink at
Maybe
it.
one of
There
these
you
days.
go.
One of these days, maybe I'll master that art. But right now, I'm just typing. But it's still typing and getting 2,000 words a minute, or 2,000 words a minute, 2,000 words an hour is pretty dang good pace for basically writing 2,000 word chapters. And so it's for me, it's been like a pretty joyful reunion with writing and focusing on some of my own stuff and getting really right back into some other projects that I wanted to finish too, and just haven't done it because I've been too focused on other things. So I'm really glad for the shift of focus. It's been really helpful for me.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's been a really good adventure when it comes to, because there is that old saying, those who teach, they don't necessarily do. Okay, I butchered that. I'm paraphrasing here. Don't quote me,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah,
But, it's nice to also teach and then do, to prove that, you had the chops before you started to teach. You're teaching, you still have the chops to do it now. And even better this time around, because we haven't had to do a lot of course correcting. We haven't had to fix a lot of inconsistencies. We have gone back in and added a few things here and there, but as far as the plot goes, it's fairly solid. And what's nice is that, due to our background in history as developmental editors, we're spotting the problems early on, and that, natural instinct for story and what we know should be happening based on story structure, but also the way in which the backstory and these characters play into it and how they influence events because of it, is such a nice place to be at. And I don't know about you, Troy, but it took me a really long time to learn this. It's not something that just comes right away.
hmm
So doing and teaching has helped in both of those aspects when it comes to plotting and writing. And so now we're able to take on these internal conflicts and demonstrate those in this process, and understanding where they need to go and how they layer and weave into these events, and how they make it a little bit more rich, because Mikey has a little subplot here that we're looking at, and so does Frankie. Don't know how deep it goes yet, but those are the things that we are exploring. And that has been a lot of fun, especially this idea that
hmm
Frankie is a crucial key to this, and they cannot find her anywhere, which is annoying for all involved, but very exciting
hmm
as well, because it opens it up for okay, this is a hunt for clues, this is a chase, and they've also got pressure from whoever, ransacked a house, looked at all these other what is happening here, and not knowing the full picture is exciting. So I mean, we are
Yeah.
understanding it more, but it's getting very exciting.
Well, and having the kind of hidden tension, slow burn romance aspect to it as well is something I just really love. Like they look at each other and go, dang, she is fine, but crap, we have to deal with what we're dealing with here. And by the way, hang on, because Mikey's driving, and
Mhm.
the whole deal. And I love it. But this is one thing that is like we as teachers, one of the things I always want to do is not only be an educator, but be a working author. But like I'm writing stuff, I'm working on stuff, I'm hiring editors, I'm hiring cover designers because I'm telling you you should hire cover designers and hiring editors. And we're doing the exact same thing in order to make our work the very best it can be. So I love this idea and I hope you guys are enjoying following us and then seeing us as working writers doing the things that we've told you you need to do. And as developmental editors, we are lucky in that we catch each other, we check each other and check our stuff, but we'll still need an editor to go over stuff at the end and proofread and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
same as you guys do when you're done with your work. So it, I'm looking forward to being done and into that process as well. And we'll share that process with you guys as well. But I'm really pleased with how fast things are coming together and how they're working, despite clear challenges right and left that we've had to deal with. But we're still able to focus and hone in on our writing, and that's something that's really awesome.
One last thing I want to say before we wrap this up is that two brains are better than one, especially when one is high on migraine meds. So Troy's laughing, but I'm serious. I got to a point where I was like, I'm pretty sure I know what goes here. But then I was like, Troy, what goes here?
Yeah.
A little like writing prompt because I was like, I'm having one of those brain days where it's just not coming. And so sometimes you need to give each other writing prompts or a little bit of a creative boost. And that has also been a fun thing to do. Whereas writing alone is great, but sometimes very isolating. Being able to jump off each other's ideas and expound from that has also been a lot of fun. And what I'm finding is while I love writing romance, I didn't realize how much I enjoyed writing romance as a subplot and focusing more on thrillers. So that's kind of a new adventure for me that I've never really done before. So this is fun, Troy. Thanks for that. Appreciate
Oh
it.
yeah. And yes, I mean, this is the two brains are better than one. And sometimes CJ is reminding me of details. Oh, yeah, we had this in dialogue, so we have to change this a little bit and stuff like that. So it really is good to have two minds working on one project. I've loved collaborative writing in the past, but this is probably the best collaboration that I've ever experienced. Oh, yes, and it's all
It's just the
CJ.
Miss America
Um,
way. Nothing
yeah,
fancy. And
just
I'm not even doing it
nothing to
right.
see here. Nothing to see here. But anyway, so I encourage you, even if you're not collaboratively writing with somebody, having somebody else's brain to just bounce ideas off of and having a writing partner is a brilliant choice. But I have a feeling CJ and I are going to write books together for a while after this, and
Mhm.
I already have a couple new ideas. You shouldn't watch documentaries after you're exhausted and you've been working all day because all it does for me is it gives me more story ideas. So I've got like two of them already that I'm like, oh yeah, we could write those together.
Nice.
Anyway,
Now everyone's gonna
um,
like search Netflix and HBO for all the documentaries ever, just for more story
yeah,
ideas. You're welcome. You are
there you
welcome.
go. You're
There you go.
welcome. Yeah. All right. Well, that's our update for this week. Thanks everybody. We appreciate you joining us as always. And we will attempt to be back in approximately 1 week with a further update. We should be a couple more chapters in, maybe three, maybe four more chapters in. We'll see how things go. But because the writing is so exciting and it's flowing so easily, I think we may be ahead of schedule here very quickly. So anyway, thanks everybody for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Bye, guys.